Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is a special edition of the NFC Championship game on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We're about 40 miles south of Candlestick Point as we welcome you inside Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Coming up, it's a battle to represent the NFC in this year's Super Bowl, and we've got a classic in store between the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The excitement level around here at a fever pitch as we're underway in the 2020 NFC Championship game. This is fielded at the goal line. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by Aaron Rodgers, a Northern Cal native, played his college football just across the bay at Berkeley.
I would expect him to get a good reception being back in the home area, without a doubt. They remember how well he played for Cal. But think about how his pro career started. He thought he might be the first pick in the entire draft. Instead, Alex Smith was selected, and he went to San Francisco. He has to go all the way to 24 before Green Bay grabs him. And there's a guy who's eventually going to be in the Hall of Fame.
And right away, he lost the football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
To put it mildly, that is not the way anyone wants to start off a game. You fumble on your first offensive snap. But now what you're worried about is, does that linger throughout the game for your guys on offense? And how's the defense going to handle it? Because no one expects to run out on the field on the first play and have to all of a sudden start to play themselves.
Well, as they come out here to set up shop for this next drive, let's talk about the NFC Championship game coming up. San Francisco hosting Green Bay. It was the road teams winning in the wild card round, Seattle, Minnesota, but the home teams bounced back in the divisional round. 49ers beating the Vikings and the Pack beating Seattle in Lambeau. So sets up a great NFC Championship game.
And a rematch of their regular season meeting that San Francisco dominated. Don't think Green Bay has forgotten that one. They have not traveled well to the West Coast this season, losing at the Chargers, losing at San Francisco. I think they'll play much better in this one. Aaron Rodgers burning to get back to the Super Bowl yet again.
After reviewing the play, the running on the field is reversed.
56, by 56. Let's go.
Now on 2nd and 13, Rodgers. That's caught by Geronimo Allison. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. An extra DB for the 49ers now on 3rd. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And Adams has it, complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. It's a gain of 26 as they pick up the first down in the process. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Line of scrimmage moves from 137-yard line to the other as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing now is Rodgers. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. This is caught. It's Ryan Brand. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty. Looking to throw again on second down. Rodgers. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. 25 yards that time.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Now on 1st and goal, a chance to get a leg up in this NFC title game. Now Jones. He pushes forward from maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line. Quickly now, here's a look at the Green Bay offense.
And what a tough environment to roll into. On the road, playing one of the better teams in the league, obviously, because this is the playoffs. So what do teams talk about? Bringing their own momentum, bringing their own energy on the road, because you know you won't get any from the home crowd.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. They'll try again with Jones. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of 1, and that is going to set up 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Rodgers now on 3rd and goal. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
So on now for the Packers at their all-time leading scorer, Mason Crosby. From the right hash, and this one just a chipping. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through, and the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. Pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. And they're led out by a guy who learned from one of the great ones in his first few years in Tom Brady. This is Jimmy Garoppolo.
When you're back up to one of the all-time great players, if you don't spend time picking that guy's brain or just watching and observing how he does things to increase your game, then you've wasted that time. I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is that type of a player. I think those lessons learned have a chance to transmit themselves very well.
And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. Tremont Williams, a veteran corner there on the stop. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Garoppolo eluding the pressure right. And the catch made. This is Emmanuel Sanders. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Here we go. Here we go. Double tight.
They'll run with Coleman on first down. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. And let's get a look at the Green Bay defense.
Muhammad Wilkerson is one of the most versatile defensive linemen in the league. You can play him at any spot and expect big-time production.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
White.
From midfield, here's Garoppolo. The Sanders has got it complete. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 30.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Here we go.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
12. Come get some.
Garoppolo going to hand this one to Coleman. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. The 49ers with the football here to begin the second quarter. Now on 2nd and 13. Garoppolo. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. And, Charles, despite this list of key inactives that we see here, they've obviously still been pretty successful.
Give everyone credit for this one because, to me, when that happens, key guys are out, the next man steps up and plays well, but that starts with the organization itself, all the way through. No excuses for guys being out, finding guys who are capable backups who can step up and play when they need them, and we've seen the results of that. This team knows how to work through things. Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
These kickers now, used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Field goals all we've had so far. 3-3 now as the kick is away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Charles, this Green Bay team, they're going to get the football back here, but as they do that, it's maybe the quietest 13-3 season in recent memory. The losses to the Eagles, Chargers, and 49ers, and that's it. They will get a tough challenge against Seattle in the wild card game, but what do they need to do if they're going to get Aaron Rodgers his 2nd shot at a Super Bowl?
Continue to do a lot of what they did during the season. You're right, it was a quiet, almost unsettling 13-3 because most of the teams that they beat walked away thinking, we can beat that Packers team. And Aaron Rodgers himself said, hey, if you want to call it ugly, that's fine. I'll take 13-3 ugly. But all year long, they actually rode the running game.
Through an opening, and there he goes. And he gets it down deep into San Francisco territory.
Here we go.
A big run there by Jones. 54 yards. Terrific run from one of the fastest backs in the game today. A guy who keeps defensive coordinators up at night, no doubt.
Remember when we were meeting with the D coordinator before the game and all he talked about was run fits, making sure our guys were in the right place so there were no creases?
They missed their fits, didn't they?
Yeah, there was no fit there. The only fit was at the end when he threw his headset down after that big run.
To throw is Rodgers. And he finds his tight end, Graham. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 2 yards that time, a stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. And the pass complete to Ryan Graham. And this is good for a first down, his second grab of this NFC Championship bout. They'll try to run it in with Jones. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
And that loss of yards there is not just on him. It's on the guys blocking for it. I mean, they're supposed to create some type of space or at least get a stalemate. They end up letting them through, and they ended up tackling him for a loss.
From back at the 4, here's second and goal. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. They're able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
And he will not only not get the yard he needed, he goes the wrong direction. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. This a fairly straightforward 22-yard short attempt. The kick by Crosby is good, and they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. So we're trading first-half field goals. No breakthrough on the touchdown front. We've got a 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I know so many people look at a game through offensive eyes, right? They want to see how the game's played that way. You know how I'm going to view it, right? The defenses, to me, have responded well in this game. Like what I'm seeing from them, both of them hoping to keep it to field goals and not give up big touchdowns.
And a good effort on the return there. Gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. San Francisco coming back out here on offense. See, this is a team that is in the midst of their first playoff appearance since 2013. Biggest jump of any squad because just 4 wins last year, 13 this year, and that win in Seattle, Week 17, so huge. The tackle by Dre Greenlaw and Jacob Hollister on the half-yard line to preserve the victory. You think about the magnitude of that play. What a difference it would be between 3 road games if they would have been the number 5 seed versus 2 potential home games as the number 1 seed.
If they find a way to win the Super Bowl, that tackle will be remembered. It's already there with Dan Bunz's hit in the Super Bowl against Pete Johnson, the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll talk about that like Mike Jones's stop for the Rams against the Titans in the Super Bowl where he stopped them about 1 yard short. That's how big of a play that was, to give them that open week and a chance to rest, because I think that team needed it. But I'm loving what San Francisco has done. Jimmy Garoppolo, people will question him about playing in the playoffs. Go back and look at the season. He played in how many different playoff-type games. I think he'll be okay. The defense and the pass rush. And if they needed just a little extra on the top, they're going to paint the end zones red, as they normally do when the 49ers have a big-time team, and that's what they're doing for the playoffs.
Here we go, here we go. 180! You ain't going nowhere.
On first down, Coleman. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Play fake there to Coleman. Now Garoppolo completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Throwing now is Garoppolo. Open man is Kendrick Bourne. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. It'll be a gain of 15 on the play. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. Garoppolo on the draw to Coleman. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Well, the 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. Feeling like they're not quite in field goal range yet, they're going to go for it on 4th. Garoppolo going to go on 4th down. Got him in. He finds Sanders. And he's taken down inside the 30. The Niners have the first down on a gain of 11.
As a defender, I always found the slant route extremely difficult to cover unless you're able to jump on top of it early, because once he gets his hands on the ball, he's at full speed going away from you.
It all happens in the blink of an eye, doesn't it?
It really does. The timing is so important. That ball's got to be out of the hands of the quarterback and to the receiver like that. And if it is, you often get a very successful play.
Flushed out right, and seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. An 8-play drive to this point. So here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. And able to haul it in is Kittle. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. 25 yards for the touchdown. And once again, the 49ers are back out in front. Robbie Gould on for the extra point. And he's got it as the lead is now 10-6. So the drive goes 75 yards, 10 plays. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Let's go.
Here's Aaron Jones in the offense trotting back out. Now, the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively. And oftentimes you might want to just swing your back out of the backfield, get the ball in his hands in open space, and just don't get totally away from running it, because some of these runs now, they may pop bigger as the game goes along.
Yeah, they've been good with the run so far. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10. They had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. So we've reached halftime here in the NFC Championship, as we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. As always, one half remains in the battle to see who will take home that George Halas trophy and represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. We'll get back to you guys in just a moment. So with that, let's get you right back out for the second half, as one of these teams will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. To find out who, let's turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Halas Trophy still hangs in the balance as the second half now underway in the NFC Championship game.
Come on now, let's go.
Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace, because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else. Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Here we go.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Right back to Coleman here on first down, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
Well, pass complete here to Sanders. And he takes it down deep into Green Bay territory. A big play there for the Niners. 43 yards. I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the third quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Coleman now. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 10 more there and another first down.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success.
Here we go. Like 80! Get that quarterback!
They go play action here on first down. Escaping the pressure right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Dean Lowry, credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on second and goal, back even further. To throw is Garoppolo. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. An extra defensive back on the field here for third and goal.
61, match box, light.
They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. And it's complete. In the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers. Kendrick Bourne there to make the grab. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
And there's going to be a stoppage here. The booth wants to take another look at this potential touchdown. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Gold with the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to 11. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it's polished off by a touchdown for San Francisco. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded at the 2. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
A well-executed 22-yard gain. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. The dump off good for 8 there on first down.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Rodgers now on first down. And Graham's got it, complete. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. And he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be third and about a foot or 2. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Again, it's Jones. And some room to maneuver. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 14 yards, good for a Packer first down.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was third and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
After the run by Jones, here's first and 10.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
1 quarter remains until the NFC crowns its champion. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. On second down and 4, Rodgers, and it's caught and stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. And this is good for a first down, his second grab of this NFC Championship bout. 3 red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. From 3 yards out, as his guys are back within a single score.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
They're going to run for it with Jones. But he will not get in here. He stopped up short of the goal line, and this will remain a 5-point game. So the defense gets the stop. I know it's situation to situation, but who has more pressure there, offense or defense, when they go for 2?
I truly believe it's the defense has more pressure because the offense has an entire playbook wide open from the 2-yard line. You can run it, you can throw it. So defensively, I think most teams are going to be aggressive and force the issue and try and bring pressure.
A 5-point game now as here comes the kickoff. This one taken from the 7. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And right now they're just looking for a little more cushion, trying to make this a 2-score game. Points here would go a long way, obviously, to propelling them into the next round.
And this is where the head coach, offensive coordinator, they've had to set a tone all year long about what they do on offense. So most teams want to stay in attack mode, but you have to do it with some bit of caution, don't you? because you can't come away with no points. You need these points here in order to feel a lot better about where they are in this game.
But this time of the year, playoffs, game of this magnitude, this is what we hope for.
Yeah, it's exactly what we hope for. You want to run your offense cautiously, but not so cautiously that you just give it up.
Here we go. 180! All day.
Throwing on first is Garoppolo. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Deebo Samuel was the intended receiver, and that'll bring up second down. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here, stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Garoppolo now. 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Coleman. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout, and we will. We've got an injured Packer on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida, looking to find a lane, but he can't, reined in at the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. And this is good for a 1st down, his 2nd grab of this NFC Championship bout. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
Here we go.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They'll toss it to Coleman. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They've got it 2nd and goal now as they look for that final dagger. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. This is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here.
Back to you.
It's Coleman here. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the left hash, a chip shot here. The kick by Gold is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a 1-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So now Rodgers in the pack, down by 8, a little under a minute 50 remaining. They need a touchdown to keep their Super Bowl hopes alive as they come up on first down. He'll look to throw. The connection made. It's Graham. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Back to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Grant.
We got this.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now a draw play. This is Jones. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Rodgers in control as he hurries his guys to the line. Drops it to Jones in the flat. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. Back to throw.
Sometimes it's...
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. And it all rides on this one play, a trip to the Super Bowl in the balance here on 4th down. He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and that may do it for this NFC title game. And for all these guys, whether you're a rookie, a 10-year veteran, there's no feeling like this NFC champs.
And you feel like family. Never at any time do you feel more like family than when you're sharing the joy of being the NFC champs. And now everyone gets to say they're going to the Super Bowl.
And that does it for the conference championship. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And for our entire crew, we'll see you 2 weeks at the Super Bowl. This is the NFL on EA Sports.